of this school that we of this memory to this side of the table. Please, with a round of applause, now we here, standing ovation for the great man, a committed leader, a committed president, giving us the best all the time. Welcome with me, Mr. Lawal Dinadu. And equally, because he was not present, I could not invite the other members of the ESCO. So let's sit down. Let me quickly recognize the presence of the Vice President. So, welcome with me, Mrs. Bola Dada, our mother in this place. The Vice President, you can come over now. In the entourage of the, other ESCO members that are here also, let me quickly introduce to you the Financial Secretary, Mr. Ayo Muleye, and also the PRO, Mr. Wale Ojo. My own name is Jide Egunjobi. In the entourage of the president where he was walking in, I saw like about two of our great leaders. Okay, I've seen the man hiding there. Welcome with me, that man that his name has always been resonating, Mr. Ronti Omole. That's the chairman of our financial council. And one of our great, passionate lady, woman, auntie, sister. I can't see her anymore. But, she's hiding. Okay. Welcome with me at that corner, Madam Mrs. Wuraola Ajibade Ni Ajayi, Omo Baba Ajayi, all the way from the United States of America to attend this function. Thank you. I think we have to move on because time is not on our side. A lot of people have not had their lunch. So, maybe we quickly take the President's opening speech before we go to the lecture proper. Thank you.
First, let me recognize only one person here, which is my senior. I don't know if I have any other one. I know it's a tradition. In this place today, I have, even though I'm president, I have been here today with two persons who are my seniors in price school. One of them, I will first recognize when she happens to be my vice president, Mrs. Bola Dada. Of the 72-76 cents.
And she's still alive. Is that what you said?
The second person is Mr. Awanti Omole, who is also of the 72-76 cents. I'm not aware of any other person, so I will say good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Well, you come and see me and then. Okay, let's go to business. Let me congratulate us first of all for this homecoming celebration. I know that outside of this program, after this program, we have a couple more where we speak about the performance of both the expo, the performance of the postage sets, and the performance of even the 50th year celebrants. So I will say so much. It is important today that we take this lecture and we deliberately reorder it so that the lecture will come first before our deliberations. We have a lot to follow. Then having said that, let me beg us. I know we are at a trying time about the condition of our school. It hasn't been, and we haven't seen even I don't think we haven't started the tunnel, so there's no question of light after the tunnel. But I'm going to pick us for one singular reason. This homecoming, I want us to behave according to the kind of responsibility that we are trained with in high school. I want us to conduct ourselves through the entire period. Even if you notice any form of provocation, and I know why I'm saying this, I can actually let you know. There's a man of God there. What we're going through, I know it's not to be a pain to everybody. We meant to everybody, we want to do the best thing for the school. And we have been shown that that is what we have in mind. We're still developing projects in the school. We're still going. But projects, homecoming, whatever, does not make a school all alone. We have the incident that make a school that we are unable to make a huge on, and that's where we are. So what am I begging us? I want us to maintain the level-headedness and not embarrass anybody in the course of this school. We do not want to embarrass anybody. We have no business whatsoever. We'll get out of this place hopefully on Sunday, and then we will address you about new developments post this homecoming. Something was actually being good. So that's all I need to say at this point. Please help me to let us have a very memorable homecoming. Thank you very much.
On this note, we quickly move to the lecture. I hereby want to call Professor Kayode Arugundade for the short lecture. The topic of the lecture: Nigeria education, the challenges and attitude of stakeholders. I'm sure we'll all benefit immensely from this. We are all parents and sponsors to a number of students in the school, either at a tertiary institution or at the lower level of institution, whatever. But I know that we are stakeholders too in this education business of Nigeria. On this note, Professor Kayode Arugundade, you are hereby welcome to this side of the table to deliver your lecture. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unlike the president, I have so many seniors. I don't know whether I have any junior here. So I will be very, very cautious of the way I will be thanking my entire school for standing by me. One of the reasons why I'm still alive today. So I greet everyone, all our seniors. There's someone I'm seeing today. I've been seeing a handwriting on the platform. And each time I feel like replying some things to say, hold on, do you know this person? So as from today, whenever you type, I will just do like this. I won't reply you. And that's Madam Ura. You know, there are times, those of us that are very young want to, because we are not naturally happy about things around us. But the elders will say, good down, I do that. Yeah, Professor Amu, I just thank God that this gathering is for Christ School students only. Otherwise, some people have been dragging you. I am not sure whether we have discussed whether I have many wives or not. So that was why, when you were reading, he's married to his wife. You know it. Okay, he did like this. Okay, maybe two. Okay, maybe you know two. But again, when we want to marry, we marry. So maybe you know two. So one day, if there is another lecture to discuss family, I'll be able to tell you the number of wives and concubines that I have. And I'll be taking after some individuals, so it will be difficult to arrest me at any point in time. So I think the issue of the Nigerian educational system or sector, whichever one you really look at it, if we are not careful in discussing it, we are not going to get too emotional about it, to the extent that we need to ask ourselves one question. I repeat, as I those who got it. And I am sure there are so many people here today who attended this school, Christ School, who will look at this building and ask him or herself a question. So many people were somewhere. They considered staff of secondary schools living within campus. It might not be everybody, but a good number of them, so that the boarding students will have their warnings on campus, the principals will be around, some good teachers could be around, so that the students could be managed properly. But today, so many individuals are also in position of authority, looking at those things being destroyed. And when we go into this lecture properly, you will see that public schools have been reducing between 1996 and today, where private school kept on increasing. And the question is, why? Because those who benefited from very quality education, from high quality and high standard education that were affordable, are today creating a class distinction to the extent that they want the children of the poor and the children of the few privileged individuals to go to different schools. Such that at the end of the day, they keep on, I don't know what mentality brought us to this stage, but the question is this: who get them? Because it's not going to be a purely academic exercise. It's going to lead us to a discourse. And a question will arise from this that will lead to an interactive session, whereby all of us will have to start asking ourselves questions. Was this the Western education handed over to us? Those who handed it over to us, have they been stagnant since they handed it over to us? In Nigeria, what was handed over to us, have we developed them for our children to be able to meet up with the dynamic nature of our environment in such a way that teachers, lecturers, academics will not go and pick their note of 1995, just dust it, come back to the class and teach students the same course, the same content, the same context today, that we no longer use analog, we are in the digital world. And we want our students to compete favorably with others outside Nigeria. No wonder that even when we train top-class candidates and past candidates here, they get outside there to excel because the environment there is friendly. Who is making that environment not friendly here? You and I, because we are all stakeholders. Those who are doing evil are not as guilty. Those who perpetrate evil are not as guilty as those who are keeping quiet when evil is being perpetrated. Because at the end of the day, we shall all be guilty of conspiracy of silence. The day it will reach your turn, you will not be able to explain. It's getting gradually to a level in this country where all of us are getting to the same threshold. I don't know how many of us still uses 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms at home. All of us are getting to the threshold. But again, the children of those people who prevented from going to the university, from having quality primary education, from having quality secondary education, having quality university education or tertiary education, will come one day and make this country ungovernable for your children that you are training abroad. Why we go to the lecture program? I said, there is a table here that is supposed to lead us into this discourse. One, we have public primary schools, 30,139. Eventually, I will give you a copy of it. Probably will put it on the platform.
Sure.
Yeah.
Take the soft copy.
Yeah. The private, 55,384. Listen, there is a breakdown of private, public in rural, urban cities in Nigeria. I will read those things just briefly, then we'll go to the body of the work. Public primary schools, 30,139. Private primary schools, 55,384. As at 2021, and you know in Nigeria, even the census we did last is about how many years ago. So for you to get recent data in this country, unless you want to put one. And that is why all our economic indices, there is no economic theory we are going to propose or propound in this country that will work, because we will always pull data. Data that are not realistic, we will cook it. That is why majority of our researches will end up in the shell. and nobody will look at it and think of transforming it to anything useful. So as at 2021, that is little we can get, and I cannot simulate. Though I read simulation as a course, but I don't want to simulate for this one because I am not even too sure whether this was not simulated. But we can quote a source. They said it's Nigeria Digest. That is what I'm quoting. Now, we move further. You can see disparity. We have a very high number of private schools. And if you compare between year 2016, sir, public schools in Nigeria, primary was 37,000 and above. In 2021, it became 30,139, meaning we have lost 7,000 of them. Why? Don't ask why. Just go to your village and you see those old schools of those days. They are no more there. If care is not taken, Ekiti was having two schools, Christ Girls Schools and Christ Boys School. One day, somebody can convert that side to them.
Round of applause. Oh.
Unfortunately, in 2016, private schools, primary in Nigeria, they were 12,000. Today, they are 55,000. Who are the owners of these private schools? You and I. Oh, I don't own one. Yes, that is where you send your children to. How many of us can bring our children to private school again these days and time? In those days, we come here, those of us from the trenches in Ekiti, we come here and meet our friends who are from Lagos, who are from Kaduna, who are from Port Harcourt, who are from everywhere. And when we come around, we start looking at them. For the first 1 year, we'll be looking like we have not seen anything in our life. For some of us who are from the normal trenches. Now, if that has happened, that is globally. Let's now look at our state, called Ekiti State. As at 2021, we have public schools, primary, 412 in the rural areas. Whereas that same year, we're having 479 in the urban area. It means there is a balance. I don't know how they classified urban and rural in Ekiti. I don't know how Ekiti was classified into urban and rural. I'm still here to get over that. Because even the almighty state capital, you need to get to some areas inside Oluwadu and start asking yourself, is this a rural area? And that's where I'm from, so don't be angry, please. Whereas the same public school, our private school, was 280 in the rural area and 479 in the urban area. The implication of this is this: both private and public, they are struggling to match up. As if that was not enough. In secondary schools, we have total of 23. Now let's look at it. Total number of primary schools that we have in Nigeria, 85,000. As at today, that we have information, 85,000. Total number of secondary school, we have 23,550. Supposing all these primary schools are producing optimally, which secondary school will admit them every year? Which secondary school will admit them? So, implication of this is that we are having so many students who are not going beyond primary education. Because the number of primary schools are way higher than the number of the public schools. The number of primary schools are way higher than the number of the secondary schools. We now go further. Universities in Nigeria. As of today, we have total 270. Look at it. Primary schools, we have 85,000, the same year. Secondary school, we have 23,000. That was as of 2021. Now, as of today, 2024, February this year, we're having 270 universities in Nigeria. 121 public, 149 private. The question is this: as we move up, the number keeps reducing. Why? However, the carrying capacity, we need to now consider the carrying capacity of an average primary school to a secondary school and to a university. If they have higher carrying capacity, I think it will be justifiable. Because I know of a university that can carry 20,000, 30,000 at a go. So I'm not sure any primary school can carry that. Maybe that is a justification. I am not sure. Now, education. I want us to distinguish between what we see education as in Nigeria and what education is supposed to be globally. Globally, by those who handed over education to us, it was supposed to be an avenue for you to be able to acquire skills, to be able to acquire knowledge, to be able to acquire enough training that will sustain you within your immediate environment or beyond even your immediate environment, that will expose you to things that are happening beyond your immediate environment, that will equip you to be able to survive in whatever environment you find yourself. Now, let's come back to Nigeria. What we are facing presently is to the extent that education is just for us to go to school, acquire certificates, and go and look for a job. That is what we do presently. And that is why you are going to see parents today following their children to jam the many that are interested in making a change. Change will become achievable. But if it's only few, they will name them. When they ask you, I don't know about it. Oh. It is Antiwura Allah that is pushing it. What is happening there? Don't ask me. It's not even the president. It is everybody that is pushing it. At that level, what Nigerians love is the benefit of a struggle and a process. They are not interested in participating in the process so that they are not called names. And until you are called names, you cannot make any reasonable change in this country we call Nigeria. People must call you names. Don't mind them. When they call, after calling you names, when they are looking for individuals to do that thing, in another capacity, they will come back and beg you secretly. Yeah, because they know your value. And I've told people, whatever you know how to do in life, do it best. Do it very well. Whatever you know how to do it very well. Who are doing things that are bad, I said do it very well. Anything, whether good or bad. Otherwise, I'm sorry for this illustration. But this is our own fellowship by anyway. Otherwise, some people will end up becoming publicity secretary of parties, or political parties. They will end up becoming spokesperson of presidents and governors. Oh, it's because they know they can lie very well, and they have chosen it as a profession. And they will look for them. Some people are notorious touts and thugs. When it is time to cause crisis during the election, they will go and pick them and use them. So I said, whatever you know how to do it best. It will be written about you. When the book of Nigeria is written, this was what you did. And your children will read it thereafter. Then they will not read it. Even if they don't read it today, they will meet those people who are affected negatively when you are doing them. So, the stakeholders are responsible from primary to tertiary institutions and like. At primary school, parents as stakeholders will be reaching out to teachers for preferential treatment for their children. In these days of our nation, you dare not as a teacher punish any student. So everybody wants to earn certificates, everybody wants to get it anyhow. And that is what we have converted our country to. And we'll get to where we're going very soon. I said the teachers, they have their own problems. Yes, their problem could be associated with the fact that, one, they are not well remunerated. Two, the environment is not conducive. Three, they have their own problems too that nobody is looking at. Ask a question. This is Christ School at Ekiti. Supposing this school has a dedicated primary school where the children of the teachers can go to and you deduct that money from their salary every month. They don't need to start thinking of the very whole school and money. That is one. Two, supposing we have enough staff quarters here that anybody who does not have a house can get the staff quarters, be paying a token. It does not need to go outside. Oh, my difficult photos are out of the hold up, long minute to much late. Oh, wait, what do you get into today? Supposing there is a market in this environment called Christ School Market, where they can go to, like they go to market every 5 days, buy items not as expensive and exorbitant as what is applicable in town, they are going to succeed and survive better. And until we do that, we will not be able to instill discipline. Because somebody who is staying along the Girigiri Road, who is teaching here, who has not got a salary of August in October, or who got promotion 7 years ago, whose promotion is yet to be integrated into the salary. If he or she comes late to work, what do you say? You have little or nothing to say. Because he or she will always have excuse to give at any point in time. Our environment are not conducive for anybody to teach, and that's the truth. Are they also working towards making the environment conducive for themselves? Maybe no. Are they also striving to ensure that the students they are producing are being taught the proper way of handling and managing the society, so that one day when these students become something reasonable in life, they will come back and do something reasonable in the environment? Maybe the answer is also no. Then I go to the next stakeholder. I said they are the school administrators, and I call them school administrators. Those ones, they are there to maximize their own benefit because they have seen themselves as one of those about the program. Yes, they were teachers, have been issues, but at the point they became administrators in the school. And when they became administrators, they have seen it as an opportunity to also enrich themselves. So whatever comes to the school belongs to them, so that they are better placed than their counterparts. It is from primary, secondary, and university.
I'm one of those students.
On their own. Because of the rot in the society, and because of the attitude of parents, our students are not interested in reading. They only want to take the certificate because they are not interested in anything they want to do with it again. That's why you see them on social media. They say education is a scam. But you to tell them, try ignorance first. They are saying education is a scam because, as a parent, your son who is in DSS 3 comes home and say, Daddy, I have just bought a Toyota Corolla. The next thing you do is say, Daddy, pastor, and some pastors, some general overseers will carry Bible and pray for those people. Heaven and hell will be interested if there is any. Because in those days, even after graduation, 2 years, if you come back home with Bible, certainly. But in these days, parents would be the one to ask their children. I heard about some parents calling their children who are in secondary schools. Let me buy you a laptop, go and learn your way from that man. It's something around us. So the students are not facing whatever they are doing. What are they doing? They are trying to always get money quick. That's why they are dying quickly. They are running man on the street quickly. So going to school, acquiring whatever skill is none of their business. I say government and government officials. One, whose responsibility is it to review the curriculum we are running? I told them sometimes ago at a gathering at university, I said, it is a shame on all of us that students who graduate from a university only to go out and learn how to drive. Can't we have a university driving school where students, as they are growing, the moment they get to 18, they go and learn how to drive? You call road safety and BIO to come and license them, and they will be able to drive all sorts of equipment within the university system. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. You graduate, you are looking for a job, and the next question they ask you, can you drive? And your answer is no. So what have you learned? If you cannot learn anything in the university, learn how to drive. It will be another advantage. I told someone, I said, when you see roadside mechanics, the only thing is that they might not be able to work with precision because they don't have those gadgets to measure some items. The way they will handle your vehicle, go to a professor of mechanical engineering now, tell him to repair his vehicle. It might take a whole year. They will only read them in the books. Why? The faculty of engineering, department of mechanical engineering, do they have a standard mechanic workshop where all staff are repairing their vehicles? No. Why? Because somebody is outside, who is a contractor to the university, who was brought by somebody who he must also give returns to. Even if you want to start that mechanic workshop today, it will not work. The If you want to force you to work, they will call you names, they will attack you. Because it's going to be only you against all of them. What is the solution? All of us must come together and fight whatever is not correct. I said it in the beginning. Those who are perpetrating evil are not doing anything close to those who are keeping quiet in the face of evil doing. It might sound to us as if they are not stakeholders. They are the local business owners. And for government, apart from the fact that they are not funding education very well, because they have where their own children can go to, because they can afford their own children studying outside the country, because they can afford the universities and the institutions that are around us that are doing well, because they have money everywhere. They are not also interested in what happens to our curriculum. Whether they are being developed, whether they are not being developed, whether they are being improved, whether they are not being improved, nobody is interested. We are still in the euphoria of Aja, Bibata, and A for Apple. Education has gone beyond that. I begin to imagine a situation whereby there will be a day when all primary school students will be given phones that are bad. They tell you where to drop them. If students can say dismantle, they dismantle and say couple. They have not amended anything there. But for the fact that they know when they remove this item, they are returning to this place and they can return successfully, you are gradually training them on how to become an engineer. To attend to phones. Go and look at a vehicle that is not working, and they will tell you, all of you, your project this year is diagnose this vehicle and come and tell us what will be done to make this vehicle mobile. We are not doing that. We teach the theory, we grade our students, we allow them to go. When they were starting those schools, they were specifically to equip those who attend those schools with skills and capacity to be able to turn things around in their environment, to be able to survive in the environment, to learn morals and be upright. Today, what has happened to the religious organizations? What is missing? And Christ work today. Thank God, we are not talking about Christ school being owned by government today now. Let us compare Christ school being owned by religious organizations today and the Christ school then being owned by the same religious organizations. Can we say the same thing when we compare the two? The answer is no. Why? Those who are leaders of those religious organizations are products of the society like you and I. They have become self-serving. Self-serving. In those days, those who were leaders of those religious organizations are very, very moderate and very, very contented. If you are not contented and you are not moderate, they will come back home, you still maintain that local one. One day, I was jokingly telling somebody, I said, in this university, they should ask all of us to go back to the gates, re-interview us, and admit us. And I know what I saw that day. I said, they should interview us. Go back to our records, check our moral standing. Before, sir? Seriously? I can imagine. Just take time, pass through one public primary and secondary schools in the course of this week. Just stay behind. By the time you move across 10 classes, you are going to discover that about 6 or 7 of those classes will be teaching your children rubbish. Because in the first instance, we are using engagement of teachers as an avenue to create employment. It's not correct. Engagement of teachers should be an avenue to see into the future of our children, even today. Because whatever you are not taught, you cannot know it. Whatever you did not read, you cannot know it. It takes the grace of God to know more than unless you decided to develop yourself. Because I don't even know whether you were here before. So it is the degree of your exposure that determines what you will know. And that's why some people will see education is part of traveling is part of education. Exposure is the basic thing. What you don't know as a teacher, and the students are very weak. That's the unfortunate thing.
They are not interested in reading. They just want the little they can do and run away. How do I close these stakeholders? I said, we have been talking about education since, and I asked myself, at a point in this country, education was not only available, not only affordable, but has very high quality and standards. Today, can we say the same thing? Now, the question is this. Can quality education still be affordable again in Nigeria? The West has continuously been reshaping their curricula. Are we reshaping our own? Are we modifying it? What is it that we have done to ours that is making it to be capable of meeting up with the 21st century demand? Number two, the class distinction has made it possible for proliferation of private institutions, primary, secondary, and university tertiary. What is it that our government is doing to ensure that there are quality infrastructure in public schools? Test those states that are having quality primary and secondary schools. You will discover that people will only want to always want to rush it. About three secondary schools in Ekiti were established at the time. By the 3 or 4 were established in Ekiti, and they are called, is it model schools? As of today, go and look at how people are rushing those schools because they know they are going to see quality education there. Go back there now if you are one of those who midwife those schools. Those things you put in there, are they still the same way you let them? Who have been punished for mismanaging those infrastructure? We are good at complaining in Nigeria. We cannot punish anybody. We don't have that capacity. More so many of us will have soiled our hands too in the past. Or so many of us don't want anybody to call us names. We are so scared in this country that we don't want to die. However, all of us want to become born again Christian and Muslim, want to go to heaven. How do you see Christ or Allah without dying? It's better for you to die early. Go and meet him early. Such that you don't waste time on school fees and petrol again. Yeah. You spend quality time with your father in heaven. Sir? The only thing is, don't take your life yourself. Don't take your life yourself. For if death comes, staring you in the face, telling you can only kill me once. And that is the end. That is the end. I have not seen a brave man dying easily. I've only seen cowards dying million times before their deaths. We don't punish here. We don't. Maybe we don't have capacity to punish. Maybe we are also waiting for our own turn to do our own way. But in this part of the world, we don't punish. Number 3. Religious organizations that started the Western education, they are backtracking because leaders are products of this society. They are becoming self-serving, like you and I. Maybe they should go back to the origin of what their religion believes in and start teaching us what we need to do so that even if we cannot afford the ones that are being controlled by government, we should be able to afford the ones that are being controlled by the organization. And finally, I say, if all these to fail, then alumni of all these institutions will come together and make up their mind. What we enjoyed when Nigeria was good, how can we come together and ensure our children are enjoying the same thing today so that we can have a better tomorrow? I rest my case here. Thank you.
It deserves more. It deserves more. It deserves more. This man agreed with me. You will agree with me. This man has actually delivered. He has set the tone and an agenda for what we are here for today. This lecture has actually streamlined us to what we are in for as alumni. But before going into that, as the lecture was going on, let me quickly recognize, excuse me, that's your phone. You have to, please. As we were going on in the course of the lecture, some personalities came in. Let me quickly recognize the presence of one of us, a former commissioner for education in this state, a great ambassador of this school, and the person of Dr. Her Excellency Ambassador Eniola Ajayi, and the husband and the spouse, Dr. Ajayi. You're welcome, madam. Also, one of the former principal, Chief Mrs. Sesson, came in. He was the former vice president of the Alumni Association. Also, I think we have in our midst the principal of Christ School, I think the public school. Also, in the course of the lectures, somebody came in, he brought a key holder, and he said the principal said they should go and give it to us so that we'll sell. And I said they should call the principal himself. He's not supposed to send anything to the alumni. He's supposed to come here himself to present anything to the alumni. Our questions and our direction of discussion, which drives us to item 4.0, which is EAC stroke alumni. Thank you very much. So if you have anything to say, you can quickly raise up your hand. Yes. 1, 2. In order, I'll just give numbers. 1, 2, Professor Amu 3, 4, 5. So just take your numbers. And sorry? And Chivronti Omole 6. Professor Shundari 7. I may not have them offhand, but please, as I've given you number, we'll just call your number and you come forward. You introduce yourself, your house, and your set. Thank you very much. Number 1. Thank you.
This is a true life experience. I thank God for. Sorry, my name is Olufemi. I woke up in 79. It was said. I was in Mason House. Obviously, I made up my mind to allow my son, if I will have a son, as young as I was, to come to Christ School. And thank God. I'm going to make it brief. He came here, while he was going up in primary school. And at a point, something happened and he said, Dad, I won't this school and all that and all. A lot of things transpired and I told him that if you cannot come to Christ School, at least you must identify with I'm from Ondo State. You must identify with Ekiti, which happens to be my mom's place. I said, no problem. Now, when he finished when he finished secondary school, I went to Futa, and he's like, okay, come to Futa. And I said, no, I won't come to Futa. Is there a university in Ekiti? I said, Osua. No, he said, I don't want all these state university. But I learned there is Afe Babalola University. That was what made him to come to Afe Babalola University. Now, he came to Afe Babalola University with a caveat. And he said, I must get a place so that he will not want to come to Lagos and that made me to be a resident of Ekiti because I built a house here. I'm not from Ekiti. Now, when we were soliciting for funds, it's in the US now, and I said, come, you did not attend Christ School. Please identify with me as your father. He's about 24 years old. He said, money. I said, no. Why not come to give a lecture on what the project you are doing, which is 6G communication? Come and lecture the students and make me proud. And he said, that's a tall order that I would not want to come. It supported me financially towards our company. Why am I saying this? The lecturer, we're all guilty. We are all guilty, and I pray one day, maybe my grandchildren will still identify with this school by coming here, because I'm not happy, right? When I mean, with the situation, I wouldn't want to go into that, because this wasn't how it played out when we were here. And the vision we had, by now we should be talking of Christ School University, right? We should be talking about Christ School University, not this state. Thank you very much. It's saddening. Honestly, it's saddening. But God will help us, because now we have identified with our roots, which is the religious this, and I pray with prayers, God will help us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Number 2, I was told that I did not give a background into what we will be discussing. Well, there is really no background into it. Why are we here as alumni? It is not because of the homecoming, but because of our school, because of our heritage. What is wrong that we want to right? What is right that we want to wrong? What we need to put right? The agenda for our renewal that we need to set, our relationship with Ekiti Anglican Communion, the alumni, the school, the students, and the future of this school. That's why we're here. Am I right? Beautiful. So that's the background. And whatever we can say around the topic of our lecture, vis-a-vis EAC alumni.
My name is Ura Ajibade. I was in Bank House and
Volume, please. It's on.
and 73, 77 set. I want to begin by thanking members of this set because they picked up a child. You know, I woke up one day and I'm like, what if every set picks a child? We can fill this school. And we started like a joke. Today we have 34 students on full sponsorship of the alumni. 30 are now in SS1, 4 are in JS3. We could have been more. It was truncated by stakeholders. So let's leave it at that. I recently posted something about leakages in Ekiti State. And some people were like, did it happen? I said, I don't want to know if it happened or it did not happen. What is happening is you have the greatest number of professors, and so if it did not happen, a group of people got together to rubbish your professorial claim. And so it should be dispelled with all passion. Alas, it happened. I called some people that took the last exam, and they told me parents contributed 40,000. And they were like, oh, do you have a gift for us? And they were laughing at the children that said, I have no gift for you. I would rather take this exam with my ability. So a lot of students wound up writing the same thing verbatim. So they wound up being cancelled. This affected WAEC mainly. And I'm like, Christ School did not get here by cheating. A blessing in disguise started. They said, oh, books are too expensive. We are not going to supply books. Let parents go and buy books. Unfortunately for this decision, alumni is the parent of 34 children as the parents. When it's time to pay they know to ask us. So I had to drop everything and come back to Ekiti. I could barely say hello to my family before getting on the road to be in Ado. We got those children got their books in the 5th week. Now, Christ School, day 1, you got your uniform and the training of how to wear your skirt and blouse. In my days, you don't wear it with your leg. Mrs. Ogunsanya will flog you. A girl wore her skirt from the top. That's day 1 training. Day 2, you got your books. Now these children got the books in the 5th week. So we are talking of stakeholders. If you remember the trend of things 2 weeks ago, I had to stop some of my elders. Calm down, tone down. And I said, Shewura Yawirini. What are you talking about? But they don't wear my shoes. For the past 3 days, I've been coming to this school to find out about the situation of the uniform that we pay every year. Why were these children not given uniforms? Believe me, principal did not take the money because he has no access to the money. We just paid to a diocesan account, Christ School / Ekiti Anglican Diocese / Christ School, a bottomless pit. Wow. If you want to now do anything like uniform, you have to have a contract with somebody. And then those people will supply, you will pay. For these people to be able to pay, they must apply for the funds that we already put there. So I rest my case on the uniforms for GS2, GS3. Now, what about this? These children are in rags. It took today, I've been here since 9 years, to get to know who is supplying or who is sewing the uniforms. And a few minutes before I got here, they will no longer supply uniforms. So when I get on it with Lavi, my president, and the Otumba, you know me now. So when I leave here, I have to go and maybe go to Aswani market or something to see how I can get quality clothing on these children. Because I tell them, you are dressed the way you are dressed. So Yoruba people will put it, Irini Sini Soni Lojo. And I now ask the person in charge, please, do you give me a go-ahead to get khaki? Because that polyester is a shame. And they now study like modern school students. So after we leave here, we will solve that. It took me to the situation where I was forced to gather the parents of the sponsored children. That when you now get your school list, because, book list, because most of them are now in SS1, they will choose subjects. They said I only did math and English for this term. Are they taking just 2 subjects this term? That's question 1. We got their books. I had to call one of my friends in Akure to ship in the books because everything became out of stock in Akure. Because it was at the point I made my mouth white that these children are resuming. What are they reading? Some people whispered to me at the back. So we're dealing with a situation where we pay the piper, but we don't even have a tune to dictate. I don't have time for that. When I talk, some people will be saying, don't let them give you names. Give me names. I don't have time for that. So, now, that made me call the parents. And I sat them. The meeting would have lasted about 5 hours. And I began with the Jewish race, how they came to America as war refugees. But America today will have a hiccup if the Jew says no. Refugees, what did they do? If you go to a refugee family, a Jewish family, you can hear them, oh, where's your boy? He's in the synagogue. He's not studying Torah. They have employed teachers to be in that synagogue. So I told the parents, any child in this 34, among these 34 people, if you have an A, it must be found in your brain. I don't have time for nonsense. And they will sign commitment, just like the sponsors signed commitment that you will not pay anybody. And your child must study hard. They are willing to learn if we can champion their cause. They know no grudging. You have to study hard, you party hard. It's in their head. So this is where we come in. Please, there are times when I say things on that platform, my juniors don't yell me down, but if you don't understand, you can call me, sister, what are you saying? And I will explain. Let's not shun off anything. And so, we need to work with these children, and I'm actually working on getting English and math teacher for them. And this is where we all come in. I thank you for what you have been doing. It's not enough to build buildings. It's wonderful because they must have house masters. But let us work together to bring out the best in the children.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the comments and your beautiful observation. So that we don't lose focus, we've had 2 people speak. I would like to welcome comments. We have 7 people who are going to respond. I would like concerning, let's take it from the second person. We're talking of EU or the assistant accounts. We pay into the account does not get the remittance back to where it's supposed to go. Hence, shortage of books, shortage of uniforms. That is one. So, how do we go from here? Will somebody like to respond? Okay.
What about number 3? We are not against observation. Can't we take all this?
We will forget. Please don't forget we have a novelty match. So we have just about 30 minutes. Novelty match is supposed to take off at 4. I want you to grant my indulgence. I want you to grant your indulgence for me for another few minutes for our discussion.
Let me, with due respect, appreciate all and greet all our seniors, because that is customary. I want to greet you all. My name is Benga Abu, 7984 Set, Harding House. Let me first sincerely appreciate the lecturer and quickly make these few comments. I'm not a person that takes time in talking, so I won't really waste your time. I think what we are having in Nigeria is not only limited to the educational system. I believe is a systemic problem, not only based on what has been said. I think it's in all areas of the facet of interaction and the social forces of the platforms on which we operate in Nigeria. The other one is also, I believe, is also coming because of our value system. That is the applause of people, what they will appreciate. And also, indirectly, we also want to fit into that value system. Our values are gradually eroding, and they will continue to erode if the people that will appreciate good values, honesty, integrity, if they are not there, or if they are not speaking out. The other one is that there was a book, I think, that we read, The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. You remember that? I think that is actually what is happening in Nigeria, but by God's grace, the beautiful ones will soon come up in Jesus' name. But my advice is that let us take our stand, but at the same time, with caution. At least you will have said your own. But at the same time, let us be flexible. Because if we always maintain a rigid stand, we might not be able to achieve anything. Let me go to the other one. A little comment about the Anglican Communion, because I'm on this side and I'm also on that side. And I think we're also working towards the same goal. I can see a little bit of where the problem is. The relationship. Somebody said yesterday, said the bridegroom is the owner of the bride. And I think the best man should be happy that this is also achieved. Ekiti Anglican High School, Ekiti Diocesan School, Ekiti Diocese, alumni, the student. We have said it clearly here that by the special grace of God, the owner of this place now is Ekiti Anglican Diocese. And the school is also under the influence of the diocese. So we can say the bridegroom has the bride. But at the same time, as alumni, we are not going to sit and fold our arms without having input. But moderate input. Mommy, you said something correctly, man.
I was told that we are coming to a new lecture theater. I came in here, I compare with the old. Make your judgments. Professor Amun said, it's not about the education system alone, it's about we as a country. The whole world is gone. I was talking to Camilla lady in America, and she said, the whole world is gone. They are waiting for Nigeria to rise up. Uganda has made their own car. Rwanda, the white guy in the plane was telling me his mother in Africa. You want to make objective criticism. Someone said they will give me names. I like mommy, she said, I don't care, they give me names. However, you have to play politics so that your voice can be heard. Sometimes you have to lie low. I think that's what I would do now, but I'll make my points known. So what do we do as a nation? The University of Lagos, where I came from, I went there, there's a big billion project about them. For that to use substandard material to do projects, about building close to the same building. As I speak, we can't run a system this way. What do we do? Solution. In my personal challenge in life, I pray one prayer to God. This thing that is so difficult. We all have challenges. We err. We are human. What do we do? This thing that is so difficult. God, please make it easy for me, like 1 + 1, which is 2. And in most cases, I get solutions to those things. Let's practice that. Pray to Almighty God in the name of Jesus, whose name will bear, to have solutions instead of criticisms. What do we do with the problems without the solutions? Who doesn't know that Nigeria is a different step? Even Akiri, when he was trying to do something in pharmacy, see the way they affected his life? Sorry, her life? Pardon me. So we should be role models, hide somewhere and prefer solutions and push it without even be seeking recognition in any way. Now, there's a friend of mine over there, I don't want to mention his name, he told me a long time ago, 1784 set alumni will not rise again. Why? One of our mates was offended and I said he has caused the group. We can never meet again. For it. And I said, it's not going to be like that. We are going to meet. Today we are here. Praise God. We are all here. Because curses cannot come. You can remove curses, you can break curses. So it's not a problem about Nigeria. Nigeria can wake up, Christ school can become greater. Someone said it should be Christ school university. So we should think of solutions to our problems. They will keep coming our ways. So solutions in our little way as role models. It's good to make objective criticisms, but what do we do with those things? Perfect. So you sometimes we're even ill-informed. Sometimes some people don't have complete information and they keep spreading rumors. We should have adequate information and see what can we do to help that individual or the people or the project or the community or the country. Thank you.
I'll make it very brief. The first thing is, when there's a problem, or when there was a problem, God sent His Son to be part of the world in order to solve the problem. If we're going to solve this immediate problem that we have, then one of us, or some of us, have to be integrated into the system to speak our work. Mommy said something earlier. I'll start with that. Mommy, my classmate knows me for mathematics. To the glory of God, I believe in mathematics. I volunteered to come and start with now, by the grace of God, I make all the time to do this. The problems we have is about sacrifice. It's about sacrifice, which most of us are not ready to do. I can't recount so many things now, but I've experimented some things. I discovered we have problems in Nigeria. My experiments after the I gathered people together. They were assisted with their exams into school. So when I admitted them, I was doing a weekly exam for them. I'll video them. Every Friday they must do an exam. Video them. On Monday, I come out on the board, play the video back to them. And they see themselves copying on their lap. Now, I did that, I used it for orientation, and to the glory of God, after 3 years, I was able to bring out the best out of these kids, and they had the best results in Nigeria in information management. The record is set with the State Ministry of Education. It was a process. We said something earlier. Professor Amoye, the shopping complex over there, he designed it as a class 5 student when he was in Christ school. That's the product of what we were doing then. When we were in school, you remember that we...
Listen now, former bishop. The first is to appreciate the speaker, Professor Arun Gani, and also to say a few things, comments. I mean, today, the gaps that we have in the quality of teaching for our students are being augmented by those who are digitally inclined. I mean, today, I mean, I look at the billboard, blackboard. I mean, we call it, I mean, today you have interactive whiteboard. And one, are they supposed to still copy these notes? Did the teacher take all the quality time to write all this? I mean, in digital world, you display, you show video, they see the reality, they can conceptualize properly. We used to imagine, we can't conceptualize. We just imagine, you know, the prairies, you know, all those places. But today you can see, visualize, conceptualize. Secondly, there is no way the academic community can depend on the government to sponsor effectively. I always give an example of University of California, Davis. It used to be a college of agriculture campus. But today, it attracts averagely $800 million in R&D fund, have a GDP of about $12 billion, the largest employer of labor in Sacramento, California, and a lot of venture capitals and spin-offs. And that is the expectation of a modern academic community. And based on that, I'm starting an initiative with the alumni of Pricewaterhouse House. And I said, look, rather than all this criticism of the system, nothing positive, that we should create a framework of how academic community can get involved, can attract R&D funds, and can build an enterprise, and in each of their localities be the largest employer of labor. I don't see why Osua should not be the largest employer of labor in the Ekiti state. Or is it X now? Okay, sorry. So I think those are some of the important challenges. And of course, we need the philanthropists and the alumni to support most of the academic community. That's what happened. Everybody came back. You can get somebody building $100 million facility, research centers in the alumni center. So that's my comment to your excellent presentation. Now, regarding the issue of Christ School, the alumni and the diocese. Initially, I didn't want to say much about that, just to put a few comments. Professor Amu asked some fundamental questions. And somehow, I've been breathing right from the beginning. And I'm happy that Ambassador is here. The first time in JKF era, he sent general information to all the schools, all the alumni and the diocese, everybody, and said, those who are interested should put down their names. The diocese said no, that they don't have a form and they're not interested. And I called the ambassador and said, look, you know what? Just drop her name before they close. At least let's know that Christ is interested. Whether it's the alumni, whether it's the diocese, that name Christ should be there before they close the register. And then there was also a session during one of the old companies that Reverend Watuni addressed us. And he said point blank that they don't have money to take over the school. But that if we are interested, follow us. Also, during Dr. Swedi's era, I happened to be in a small discussion cabinet, whereby all the engagements with the Fayoshe government, all the feedback from the group or the committee set up between the government, the diocese, and the alumni, the feedback, we went through all that and all the few challenges. And based on that, a government paper was put together, which was based on the feedback from the committee that was set up. And it had both the alumni and the diocese to sign that agreement to jointly run the school. And based on that fact, it's a document. No story. I read it. I'm sure somebody's have a copy. Based on that was why an MOU then was set up. And inside the MOU, because the alumni were included in that paper, they said they should have trustees. And for you to be a trustee, you must be a part owner. You can't be a trustee without ownership. Now, also, when the new bishop came in, I also part of the people that met him in Lagos. The president, Dr. Soji, Baba Ijo, Mrs. Ajayi of the Anglican Diocese, and the secretary, and I think and a lawyer as well. The bishop and the chancellor, Justice Damola, and the secretary of the diocese as well was there. And we had very good discussions. We reviewed the issues why that MOU cannot be signed. Because, after Fayoshe era, the JKF second era and the school, that was only without the alumni. So, and that was what created the problem. If it had been the previous white paper that included the alumni and the diocese together, then it can both be trustees of the school. But because we were not listed as owner of the school, so we cannot be a trustee. You cannot have interest in what you do and do. And that was why at that meeting we said, okay, fine. Rather than board of trustees, let's have board of governors. But with the same power and responsibilities to carry out activities. And I can tell you, the bishop said he wants us to take more a dominant role because they don't have the finances. It came his dream for Christ School, and that we should try to change that MOU from board of trustees to board of governors. And not only that, we all agreed to have a strategic committee, which we had the guy who runs Spina, correct?
Yeah. Go on, just go.
You know, so, and I was part of that committee as well. And we came up with a strategic document on the best way to work together and to run the school. We even said, I remember I said a category like that. We should have a system whereby it's not bishop says, or bishop says. But something that will be sustainable, that can entrench, that even when you leave, to be a good legacy, that you put together a seamless organization. And we did all that, and submitted the report. In fact, in that committee, we have a secretary of the diocese and about 2 others. And I think also the principal of Christ was in that group, and then Mrs. Balu also joined us as well. So, we appreciated the bishop's humbleness for coming to Lagos. We were frank, and we tried to work as much as possible together. So, we're not adamant, we're not arrogant, we're not forceful. But we just believe that when people come together, have certain agreements, have purpose, commonness of purpose, we should focus on that objectivity, irrespective of other circumstances or situations. And I think that's the main problem. But my own take is that we are not a crisis. We passed the crisis. We passed through these campuses. And it cannot be taken away. And we cannot afford, irrespective, to close our eyes, to continue to see that. Even if we're not properly accepted, there's a volunteering spirit. When the government was running
in our own situation as alumni to engage the Anglican. We're not owners of the school, please. Take it and erase it from your mind that we have claimed ownership of the school. Never. When I was in this school, there was nobody claiming ownership. I knew this school belonged to government. Now, the school was taken back. The government took back the school, I think, during Ajashi time. I can't be too sure. Yes. But you see, it was from Anglican to government, and now government back to Anglican. The alumni has been here ever since. Refer back to the days of our Baba Ubukwa, our Baba Ubulade. But they always have a role to play. And that is what we are saying. We're not talking about ownership of the school, but we are stakeholders. We are the ones that even led into the takeover of the school. Hence, we must stay together as one to be able. We don't want this kind of school with low quality, shoddy arrangement, shoddy administration. We don't want it any longer. We want a viable school. Christ School is a brand in the Ekiti State and in Nigeria and in the world. And we must protect this. This is what we're talking about. And we are set to do that if our owners are ready to allow us. But because our owners were not allowing us, we had to draw a battle line. For back to the drawing board to say they want to invite us. We are open to discussion anytime. Because what? This is our heritage. We are the one carrying the ground. We are the one having the stickers on our vehicles. We are the one having the t-shirts. They are not the one having it. Thank you. Number 7. You cannot have two masters. You cannot have two masters. You can neither run nor fly.
Yeah, thank you very much for the expose. I want to thank you for this very important topic. Okay, sorry, I'm Professor Felicia Shunari, Lacy House. Now, for this very important thing that you have brought up, I want to thank the President and others, particularly this our sister. You are so undoubted. The kind of spirit you have as far as this school is concerned, please fight it on. From what my friend Idegu has said just now, the problem of the school is obvious. It is fundamental. Okay? Now, if you are talking about, from what my friend said the other time, talking about stakeholders, talking about quality, what we are saying now is that the case of Christ School, a case study. That's not what I'm saying. Why am I saying this? The government has taught all of us here. We attended public schools. We enjoyed good education. We enjoyed discipline. We enjoyed quality education. But now those of us who are teaching in the university, we find it difficult to impart it on us. Now, if we're talking about Christ School, has produced professors, has produced all kinds of people, okay, who have made their marks in Nigeria. Not to mention like Mama and others sitting down here. Fine. Why we then have a problem in bringing all that we have taught back to Christ School? We know that Christ School is not what we want it to be. What is the problem? The problem is that Christ School is like a child that has 2 mothers. Yes. You have 2 mothers. If a child has 2 mothers, it will be that car. When he goes to this one, say, I'm going to live a man long. To pass to them, I'm going to that's exactly what will happen. There is a personality clash. There is a political clash. There is a clash of interests. That's exactly what we're having. And how do we resolve this? That's the major problem. Another thing we have now is that, remember, Christ School is an Anglican school. And we have the Lord Bishop. And we have added the Bishop who now questions the question. That is the question. So I want to advise that SSR has opened up the topic. Those of us who are very close to the school, many of us who are here read those things on the platform. Am I right? Yes. Those of us who are very close to the school, help us identify more of these problems so that we sit down tomorrow and trash them. I remember we have Governing Council, am I right?
Disbanded.
Disbanded? Why? Yeah, the church disbanded because of, anyway, let's leave that. So I want to advise closely, let's try and do that.
Thank you very much. On the final note, let me call what we are enjoying. And we want to continue to enjoy it. May God continue to bless us. Amen.
My president, good evening. The EXCO, thank you very much for how far you have helped and led us. I'd like to first of all thank Professor Aaron Ugarte for that very insightful lecture. And I'd like you to please share it on the general platform for all of us to read through so that we can learn. I won't waste your time. I'll just say what I think the problem is and ask us to think overnight on how we can get a solution. You know, in the Kingdom of the Netherlands, where I served last, believe it or not, the land size of that country, I think, is, I don't remember the square meters, but the population is like 18 million. And they are the second largest producer of food in the world, second only to the United estates. How did they achieve it? They have this what they call triangular approach between government, the institutions of agriculture. They have the best University of Agriculture in the world, Wageningen University, and the private sector. So when they do research in the university, they give it to the private sector, the farmers and all, and then government backs them up with funding, with anything they need, insurance, control, everything. So they keep getting more yield per every seed they plant. So this has achieved them the kind of success they have today. But before I move forward, please pardon my manners. This set that is doing homecoming, I want to congratulate you and wish you a wonderful time. I'm so happy to see all of you and so many of you. And I pray that you will continue to gather in the name of Jesus. You will succeed in everything you lay your hands to do. And there's something about this school. There's nobody that has sown here that has lacked. You will never lack. Amen. In the name of Jesus. Amen. So let me continue. The problem we have is that we need collaboration to make Christ School succeed the way we want. But there is no basic structure for that collaboration to occur. So how we will achieve it is what we need now. Let me say this. The current bishop, because I'm a diplomat, but when I don't need to be diplomatic, I am not diplomatic. The current bishop came on board without a word to some of us. I was a member, or am I still a member? I don't even know. Of the board of governors. There were people that were members of the board of trustees. He did not call us to a single meeting since he arrived till today. Not a single meeting that, sorry, we are disbanding you. We don't need your services any longer. This is how we want to move forward. That's the normal thing to do. Then you leave a school like this in abeyance. Nothing, no structure, nothing. Our strategy, and you keep changing one principle after another. And keep doing things in a way as if, are we in what century? It doesn't take rocket science to run a school. I may not be an education whatever, but even if they ask me to come and run this school now, with my administrative capacity, I will run it well and get good teachers to do. My brothers and sisters, we need a way forward and a serious way forward. And we need to move together in one accord. Nobody should be doing this and that. We're not trying to please anybody, you and I. How many of you have children in this school now? Apart from my wonderful brother, who has a child in SS1. We don't. But we want the best for this school. We keep coming back. We keep coming back. And in fact, there's something else I need to thank this set for. That house that you repair. No. Baba. I will not say it. Whichever, I think, I bless all of you. You see, nobody will drive us from this school. The only thing that is paining us is that we are better than this. We should have gone further than this. Many of us will be willing to come here and volunteer and teach. Many of us are ready to do many things, but we need to be included. We must, my brother, please don't take a call now. Please help us pass a message that they need to bring us to the board. Let us agree on how to move this school forward. That we will never accept the current status quo. Never. Never. Never accept it. Thank you.
Thank you. The agenda is being set for delegates conference tomorrow. I implore everybody to come for the delegates conference.
What about us?
We are not setting any barrier. No issue of delegates this time around. It's about everybody. It's about us, it's about the school, it's about the students. Ambassador was actually the last speaker, but somebody wanted to come. But however, the president is set for another meeting. So I would like to call him
to make response. From when he exits, we can still continue with our discussion.
Let me start by first and foremost thanking Professor Arokunade for that wonderful lecture. It's first. Number one, the issue of the MOU was not ready at the time Omotunde left. But Omotunde, no, it wasn't complete. Yes, it wasn't complete. There was a sketch of MOU. Somebody said we drew battle line. Even the battle line was a sincerity thing to do. We went to government. Christ School is a legacy school. You must be able to stand on Okeayoba and point to Christ School as your success in Ekiti. Are you with me? And point to Christ School as your success. So, if you want to record that, take the school back. Christ School has always been a mission school, and it will remain a mission school. Absolutely. This is the first time you are seeing the leadership of the diocese being overbearing everywhere on the school. I need to be a big tear now.
Yeah, of course now.
We didn't know that they owned the school. But they deployed reverend to work in the school. That wasn't the problem.
It was a collaboration.
Yeah. Why is this one so? Before you know it, they said the account has to be opened in the mission. Who is interested in the money? I'll tell you something, I don't brag about my performance. See that girl school? 75, 80 cents. They were doing road construction, this road you see. And I stepped forward because I just became president. I said, Christ Girls School is not accessible. Erosion has swept up the place. And I went to Dr. Fahmi, I said, when they still started, I said, they don't have all the money to achieve all these things. I said, okay, let me support. We called in a contractor to cost how to do that bridge that we let allow you to go to second. I personally paid for it. And I said, thank you. And I started a promise for him. If I do this one,
Only girls will know and lawyers.
Dr. Fahmi then, once I do this, make sure you, and they did, yes, they did. This is how life should be. There's nothing so difficult about it. It shouldn't be difficult. I know this one, and it's not about those of us present here. It's about everybody else that is coming to this own problem. I want you to become ambassador in the microwave from this hall and begin to minister to people. You know why? Because battle line was drawn. Yesterday was Thursday, there was to be a protest in group of Ekiti concerning who was saying for this war.
Wow.
We killed it.
Really?
We killed it because the battle line that was on the matter is still in the government. So don't worry yourself. We have first, we have Christian, we have, because of Christian is in Christmas house. You know so much about what is Christian. We're just saying, let us get back and do the right thing. Me, I don't have a problem. I know that I've been reported in certain place. And last night, I got called certain orders. I believe maybe these are opportunities to solve this. Very much for coming, but help our people not to misbehave. Or let us be more misbehave. Let us be responsible in our conduct. I don't want anybody to come and embarrass anybody. Because some people are actually clamoring for a showdown. Anybody anywhere can go to shout make noise of it. Please, please. Control these things. Not you. I know that you want to do it. But there are people out there, you know, that you need to manage them and what will help us all. Thank you. And when he came, he tried to stamp out a few things. And that thing altered some of the original plans. And I protested to him. And I give it to him. I respect it. He says, Daddy, I want to come to you. I said, no, that I would rather come to Ability. Subsequently, I think about 2 or 3 weeks after, he called me and said, look, he will still want to come. At that point, he knew I was upset with something. Yeah, we still want to come. I said, okay, no problem. Then let me get something else involved. So I called the immediate past president, Swezi, Papa Jokunkwa, not your mother was present. He narrated this thing there. I did not tell Exco to bring out money. Everybody that came from the diocese, I housed them in an eyebrow hotel in Victoria. They stayed 2 days. So, and at that meeting, I saw a humble, a honest bishop. Even the justice was all his hands up to the alumni to take over and let us just make success of this. At that meeting, we agreed to finalize the MOU. And I must tell you, I'm a student of corporate work. Every MOU is negotiated. You get a draft, you bring it to the table, each party will do. An MOU was now drafted finally after the meeting. Handed to him, asked me if it was ever brought up for negotiation. So the issue is not somebody refusing. And even if you're refusing, I am saying to you, Christ who is like the baby. Do you want to throw away the baby with the bathwater? That is what we have done with him for 3.5 years. If you are a super manager, by now we should see success being recorded on Christ. It doesn't matter whether the alumni is involved or not. But I'll tell you the painful side. 2 of them. 1, when we started, we planned about 4 billion projects to refurbish Christ. Because of this behavior,
everybody pulled back. Some are probably even late. We couldn't get to do it. What we were doing, even if we come to resolutions, the reason I'm saying to you, is they had negotiation to make at this stage.